Hey everybody, Ted Fletcher with FMS. So we're going to dive into part two of if you have to make your own custom shapes or modifying shapes to be able to show the Excel data that we import to Visio. So I have a couple playground sheets here, one being our Excel. Just maximize that. And I just put in a handful of rows. That way we show some different device information going through on this list. We have our a Visio diagram that we can build our shapes in. And I've already imported that sheet data into here so we can see the available cells. So this will all come down to how do you want to display your data? What is going to be your graphic scheme of showing all this equipment information? Because all the information that's in this Excel for all the different columns, we can actually pull into a shape. And then from there, what do we want to show from a foreground perspective of that shape data? So that being said, I'm just going to do something simple. I'm going to grab a square, drag that out to there, just get rid of the theme, go to the pointer, come in here. So the first thing, imagine how you'd be laying your diagrams out. You'd want to be able to use the wire linking to show what's being fed from what or what's feeding what. So I'm going to just go to a connector, select, then I'm going to put a connector on that side, connector on that side, point, go to our format shape. We'll make the lines a little bit thicker, go 2.5 on that. On this, we'll go green. We'll give it a bevel on the corner. So there's a block that we can use for displaying. And again, depending on the aesthetics you want to apply on your application, it is totally up to you how you want to do this because the process will pretty much be the same. Whether we're doing something like this, you're doing a flat square, maybe you're not even going to show a diagram and you just want to show text to something that's more hidden in the background. So first thing you need to do is we need to have data to actually bind to. So what we need to do here, once you have your shape selected, just right click on that shape, go down to data, and then what we need to do is we need to pull in the data points for what we want to have bound to the shape. So we're going to come to define shape data, left click, and as you go through these options, it'll say property 1, 2, 3, 4. So what we want to do is call out as far as what these individual properties are, which would be our column names. I'm going to drag this off to the side of my screen. So here, the first one, I'm just going to copy location. I'm going to drag this off to the side. Now we make this go a little bit quicker. I'm not going to bring everything over. So here, I'm just going to paste. So now we have location. If this was the only thing that you were pulling into the system, then you could click OK, you're done. We're going to add a few more things in here. So the next one I'm going to go to, and I'm going to click new to get a new property field. You see property 2. I'm going to go back over my sheet and I'm going to grab device type, click new, device name, new. I'll do manufacturer, new, and the last one we'll use on this example will be the IP address. So now that we have those fields, we just click OK. Anytime you want to see what's going on with the shape, or if you have a pre-existing shape in your stencil library and you don't know if there's any shape data bound to it, the easiest way I've always found, here I'm just going to close this off on the right, is select this, go up to your view, task pane, then look at shape data. If you have something already selected to that device, you'll see it actually calling out those fields up above. So that's how we get the initial shape data bound to our shape. So now that we have that locked into our shape, say we want to show what the device name is and the IP address just from a foreground view. I'm going to hit save real quick. So here, if I select the shape again, I'm going to right click, then I'm going to go down to data, and I'm going to do edit data graphic. From here, you can see that there are no fields selected. So if you click on this new item, it's going to say the data field. The data field is going to be any of the shape data that we've mapped over to that device. So here we can see all of our options called out. You can even freeform. I've never used the add more fields. From this select, I always add whatever the relevant column information is to the device. And then from there, I pick and choose what I want to show from the foreground. So we're going to select device name. We're going to go to text. It's going to have some drop-down options. The value label, which would be nothing but the label itself. As far as coming off, as far as that display value, they actually have a bubble call out, text call out. They have a bunch of different options in here with some built-in little displays. So in here, I'll do the bubble call out because this is going to show the title or the field name along with the displayed value. If you don't need that, just doing like a value label would be perfect. So I'm going to do the bubble on that. I'm going to undo the default, tell it go horizontal center, vertical middle. If you want to change your fonts, your other variables, you can click through on here. I'm just going to keep it at the defaults for this video. So now I'm going to click on OK. So you can approach this one or two ways. You can add these individually, but if you start shifting your text fields and then you come back in to add something and then you click on OK, it's going to try to then realign and reposition stuff. So here, I'm just going to go center on that. So I'm going to add our other field for our IP address. So I'm going to go there, IP address, text, bubble. Now I changed it from that front panel view. Now it's center middle, so I'll just leave that in the default position. I'm going to click on OK. These are the only two things I'm going to add on for this demonstration. So I'm going to click OK. Do we want to apply? Yes, we do. So you can kind of see by the default, it actually applied that greenish background. So if you wanted to have it look more natural inside your device, you can always select the individual field. Then from there, like if I went home, be like, all right, give me a white background, black text, and there it is. The name of the field, the value coming back as, the IP address, so the name of the field along with that. Nothing has been selected, so nothing is showing. So I'm going to do the same with this. I'm just going to make that white, black text. So the other thing you can do, by default, it's going to try to fill up the shape. But you can always select this and be like, all right, well, I only need to have that come out so far. And then let's say I'm going to bring the IP address a little bit shorter. Go to like there. Just going to hit save real quick. So now that we have those locked in, we're seeing these values. So then if you wanted to test this real quick, you can select it. Then you can go off on the right hand side. You can right click something that you have that's relevant to that column setup for what you linked. Link to select shapes. Then it populates the data in. Readjust that field. So now you have these two. So I'm going to go through, hit save. Say you're comfortable, you've built your graphic out for however you want it to look. Once you have that set in place, then you can actually grab your graphic. In fact, let me unlink this. Unlink. It's still going to hold whatever the last text value that came in. So I'm going to take this, put our stencil into edit. I'm just going to left click, drag it, drop it. I'll give it a updated name. Save. So now that we have this selected here, now I can come off on the right hand side, kind of like we showed in part 1. You just select, drag it out, drop it. Say if we wanted to resize it for whatever reason, you kind of see it's going to start crunching up the text fields based on how it was originally built. But then we can grab our second one, third one, and everything will update accordingly. So again, depending on how creative you want to get going through on that, graphic build kind of determines how you're going to be laying it out. But that's kind of the simple way of looking at, you need to create a shape and you want to update it, what that looks like. So I'm just going to take these 3. Let me scroll back up. So the other one I'll go through and kind of show is, let's say you had something pre-existing in place. I'm going to drag this little GEPLC controller over. So you can see if I select it, nothing comes up above. So that's because nothing's bound to it. Now, depending on how the shapes are built in your stencil library, if I tried to add to this, it's probably going to kick back an error, just the way that this shape was designed. So typically what I've found in these cases, you have to unlink it from its master, you update your fields, and then you can kind of move forward. So I'm going to go to group, ungroup. It's going to give me a warning, it's unlinking. So now we can see everything has ungrouped. I'm going to come back in, I'm going to select it, group. And then depending on the graphics, like if I was to take this right now, I'm going to make duplicate, go through, stretch it. You can kind of see that the fonts aren't staying consistent. So I'm just going to make a copy of that. Paste, paste special. Get rid of that one. So now, if I wanted to add objects to this, we follow the same process. Like if we just took that simple block and we were trying to add the Excel shape data, right click, data, define shape data, property 1, location, new. Then on this one, I'm just going to keep it simple. IP address. Okay. So now we see we have those 2 fields are now locked to our little PLC controller. And I can right click, go down to data, edit data graphic. Then same process, go through, select your fields, actually location, text. I'm going to do the bubble call out. Click on OK. New item, IP address, text, center, bubble call out. Click OK. Click OK. Yes, we wanted to apply it. So that is not uncommon going through in this one route. So hopefully this helps you save time. It's that meta images cause issues when you try to save out. So I'm going to take this again. I'm going to ungroup it, rebind, group. Now you can see now when I select it, nothing's coming up because it was bound to that other layer. So if I take this, You can go data, define the shape data, location, new, uh, device name, new, then we'll do IP address. Click OK. Got our fields, we got that. So now going through the same process, we go to data, edit graphic. The more you deal with this, the quicker you can move through the whole process. Device name, text, center. Okay. In fact, I want to change that center from here. So now I'll add in the last two fields. We got the location, text, bubble, default positioning on that. And then last one, new, IP address, text, use the defaults. So now if everything works correctly, like I said, there's something with when you have stencils and things saved as a meta image, sometimes it'll fight you as far as trying to apply it to where when you go through this route, it should take it cleanly. So I'm going to do OK. Yes, we want to apply. And then there are our fields. So on this one, I had selected the other common value fields. This one actually had the location called out in that bubble text. So say we don't want to have this striking across the middle. You have a pre-existing graphic, you might be showing wiring, other things tying in. From here, you can actually grab these fields, and you can do this with the, if you're drawing something from scratch, you can drag these out and then just drop them into a new position. And you see it grabbed all three. So then if I wanted to update these and be like, okay, well, I want to have this look more or less hidden in the background, no color, but then I want to add that. Go through and check the alignment. It's a little bit off. There we go. Oh, it's off on that side too. There we go. So you can go through and update those. And again, it all comes down to your aesthetics. How do you want it to look? Say if I wanted to do a dark fill, but I wanted to put, lighter font on the inside, you can call that out. And you can move these to whatever position makes most logical sense. This would be technically blocking the wiring connections coming into the base. So I'm just going to zoom back a little bit and just select that. So I'm going to take these and put them off to the side. Once you have that all saved, I'm just going to go back to here, take this, drag it, put it off to here. Just giving it something unique. Save. Now with that selected, off on the left, same thing, we can go through our process. We can drag, drop, and then it puts the data in place for you. So it really does come down to the aesthetics. How do you want this to look overall? So I hope this was helpful. I'm going to see about putting together a part 3 video. Like I said, I'm going to put a link to the part 1 in the video bio for this part 2. Part 3, I think we'll dive into looking at if you have pre-existing shape data. You don't want to go through that process of rebuilding all of it for all these existing stencils that you have. There is a way you can go through and you can kind of copy and save the shape data from one shape, and then you can reapply it to other shapes in the system. So again, I hope this was helpful. Again, once you start coming on to this side of the documentation layout, it really comes down to what type of schema do you want to show, how much information do you want to show from the device versus the foreground fields. Sometimes simpler is better. So just having a couple little things like device name, IP address, something relevant to help someone identify quickly what they may be looking at. And then from there, you got all the other embedded information going to that shape. So I thank you very much for your time, and hope you have a good day. Got any questions, please feel free to reach out and contact FMS Integration anytime you like. Thank you.